Hey guys, how's it going? Hopefully your Christmas went well. You guys are rested up and ready to go start learning things again. So this video is going to be a combination of the agenda video where we go through and talk about what's coming up for the week, and then also the lab explanation video where we are explaining the lab we're going to be doing. So, quick overview. This is what the next 2 weeks are going to look like. The 4th, the day you're probably watching this, distance learning, basically watch this video. I'm going to give you an assignment that has to do with about this lab. The lab, I plan on it being 3 days, maybe 4 days, depending on how things go. So 3 to 4 days of doing a lab. After that, we're going to be talking about just reviewing. The 11th, 12th, 13th, Monday through Wednesday is just going to be 100% review. We have 4 units that we've gotten through so far, so that means that we're going to be reviewing all those 4 units. And then finally, 14th and 15th, those are the finals. We're still in the fall semester. Things have been weird because of COVID, so they pushed the fall semester back a couple of weeks. Usually, it's right before winter break. This is now the end of the fall semester, this 14th and 15th. Okay, so let's go through this real quick. Today, what do I want you to do? The first thing I want you to do is do this quick survey. I say quick, it's actually not that quick. This is a survey. Basically, have Unit 1 and then all the topics on Unit 1. Basically, this is a self-assessment. How much do you think you know about moles and molar mass? You're good, hit 5. Whoop. Stop. Oh. You're good, you hit 5. Mass spec, I don't know that, so 4. Elemental composition and pure substances, pretty good, 4. Composition of mixtures, ooh, no, 2. So go through and self-assess all of your things. And anything in Unit 1, any questions you would like to go over, specifics, just go ahead and type them out here. And then same thing for Unit 2, all these topics, any specific questions, so on and so forth. Go through and do that. This is going to help me develop a review strategy for you guys. Maybe everyone's good with mass spec. If everyone's hitting 4s and 5s, I'm not going to cover it because everyone's good there. If everyone has problems with photoelectron spectroscopy, then I'll definitely go over that. All right. So self-assessment, get that done. That'll give me a few days to look over it and develop some sort of strategy to get things going. All right. Then we have a lab. I'm going to talk about the lab later on. And then after that, review. We'll talk about reviews and then the final. Oh, all right. So I had a final all ready to go. And then I found out that instead of doing things like we normally do, kind of a block schedule of 2 hours per class, so we have 2 hours to do a final, we're not doing that this year. Powers on high have changed things up on us. So that means I have to go back and rewrite my final, or at least edit it quite a bit. If what you guys need to know is that instead of 2 hours to take your final, you only have 1 hour, which means that I need to pare it down. I don't like doing this. I would it's still going to be worth the same number of points, but now each question is going to be worth more. So each question, if you make a bonehead move on one question, it's going to hurt you more. I don't like doing that. I'd rather have lots of little point questions than one, 5 big point questions. But that it is what it is. So there's that. So that's what's going to be happening on the 14th and 15th. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is going to be all review. Now let's talk about this lab that we're doing. This is going to be a fun lab. I like it. So basically, this is the question. What is the actual percent of hydrogen peroxide in store-bought hydrogen peroxide? If you go to the store and you buy hydrogen peroxide, it's going to say 3%. Is it really 3%? Is it really that amount? Or are they jipping you? Are they going through and, giving you 2.5% and calling it that? Maybe they're giving you 3.9%. I don't know. We can go through and check that. The way we're going to be doing it is with titrations. Titrations, that is going to be what we're using to determine this. And we're going to be using potassium permanganate to titrate this. So, if you are unfamiliar with titrations and you don't know what's going on, maybe you might want to go back and look that up again. I have videos on titrations. So go through, familiarize yourself with, go back and familiarize yourself with the titration. I have an assignment with a bunch of pre-lab questions. These questions will kind of help guide you to developing methods. So you're going to need to go through and develop your own methods to determine the concentration of hydrogen peroxide in store-bought hydrogen peroxide. You're developing your own methods. Now, these questions that on the assignment are going to really point you in that direction. So there's that. Now, the assignment is it's on Canvas. It's going to be due tomorrow. It's going to be due on Tuesday. The reason I want it to be due on Tuesday is because you need to get it done in order to do the next bit of things. So go through, do that. It's due on Tuesday. At this point, no more late work. We're too close to the end of the semester. So it's due, it's due. Get it done. On Tuesday, you should be able to present your method to the class. Go through. I'm going to basically go through and just call on some people and say, all right, what's your method? Give a quick little 1-minute explanation on what you're going to be doing. And we'll spend a lot of Tuesday kind of discussing what is the best method to do. You guys are going to all come together and modify your procedures and figure it out. Now, there's going to be one big hiccup. Okay. Well, let me go back. So you're going to be modifying these procedures. You're going to be talking about it, developing it. Okay. One thing you might want to do is, one big thing about titrations is the end point. The end point is some sort of something that happens that we can see, that we can measure and say, okay, the reaction's done. All right. So you might want to go through and look up potassium permanganate and hydrogen peroxide. Just Google that, and I'm sure you can find some lovely videos about it. So go through and do that and see what how can you tell where the endpoint is? How can you tell where all the hydrogen peroxide is used up? What happens? So that is going to be something you might want to look up as well when developing these methods. So develop your methods, present them on Tuesday. We'll modify them around. And then on Wednesday, one thing that we're going to have to do is something called standardizing our potassium permanganate. Now, potassium permanganate, it's very potent stuff. We need a very dilute concentration. So this is, I'm going to make a concentration for you. This concentration of potassium permanganate is going to be 0.02 molar. This is pretty dilute, right? The problem with this is that in order to make it this dilute, I'm just going to have to take like a small little amount of potassium permanganate and put it in. Now, you probably have realized this. If I put in like 1 grain of potassium permanganate salt, it may not be exactly 0.02. It may be 0.024, might be 0.03 something. So this is, like I said, this is around this amount. We're going to need to find out the exact amount of potassium permanganate. All right, and we're going to do that doing similar. We're going to do another titration. So we're going to be doing some, using ammonium iron 2 sulfate. This is a very easy to get concentration. We know this concentration exactly. So we're going to use this to figure out the exact concentration of potassium permanganate. Then we're going to need to use this potassium permanganate to figure out the exact concentration of hydrogen peroxide. That's the general strategy that we're going to be doing. All right. So step 1 is do a titration with iron or ammonium iron 2 sulfate and potassium permanganate. Then potassium permanganate. We're going to do that on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, we're going to go through and use our standardized potassium permanganate. We know the exact solution concentration of the solution here. Then we're going to go through and titrate the hydrogen peroxide. Okay, well, I'll give you 2 different types, 2 different brands of hydrogen peroxide. Who knows? Maybe the Equate store brand version is a little bit more honest, and the other one is a little bit more. Maybe they skimp a little bit. The name brand ones. I don't know. We're gonna figure it out. So that is going to be what we're doing. Things that you need to do right now, today, on Monday, is answer these pre-lab questions. Then develop procedures. Okay, develop your methods. What are they going to do? So you can go through, write it out step by step. First do this, then do this, then do this. You might want to think about what materials you're going to need. What glassware are we going to need? Already you should figure out what kind of glassware do we need in general for a titration. You should probably know that. So all of this is what you need to be doing today. All right. All right. That's it. I will see you guys on Tuesday when you are presenting your methods to the class. All right, guys. Have a good one. I will see you Tuesday.